a volleyball performance that ranks among the state's best ever, and 20 MHSAA championship trophies are earned. We'll give you all the winners. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. 8 individuals and 8 teams brought home cross-country championships this past weekend as the finals were run at Michigan International Speedway on a day that had some rain, some wind, and some great performances. The best one? That belongs to Benzie Central's Hunter Jones. The senior won his 4th individual title in Division III, the first to ever win 4 in a row in D3. His time was the 2nd fastest finals time at MIS ever and is also a Division III finals record. Hart won the boys' team title in Division III. In Division I, Benet Anderson of Grand Rapids Ottawa Hills turned in the fastest time, and Northville was the highest scoring team. In D2, Chelsea's Connell Alford brought home the first place trophy and helped his team to a 2nd place finish just behind the state champs from East Grand Rapids. And in Division IV, Lesaway Osterrink led a dominating performance from Wyoming Potter's House Christian. Osterrink was first, his teammates were 2nd, 3rd, and 7th as they also won the team title. On the girls' side, Helen Sachs of Holland West Ottawa captured the Division I title after finishing 5th a year ago. Combined with a top 10 finish from teammate Ariane Olson, West Ottawa also won the team title. In Division II, East Grand Rapids' Drew Muller was first individually, and Otsego won as a team. Division III saw Jessica Jazwinski turn in the 5th fastest D3 time ever as she crossed the finish line first. Traverse City St. Francis was the top team. And in Division IV, Aiden Herron was first this year after a 2nd place finish last year. Johannesburg Lewiston won its first team championship. For more on all of the cross-country finals, be sure to check out MHSAA.com. Game balls this week go to Boyne City volleyball star Morgan Deming. She had 52 kills in a match in a win over Kingsley in districts, the 3rd most in a single match in MHSAA history. That performance also puts her over 1,000 career kills. Romeo freshman swimmer Alyssa Chambers, she won twice and was swimmer of the meet at the Macomb Area Conference White Division meet. And a Clarkston running back Ethan Clark. He scored 6 touchdowns in a 49-40 district title win over Davison. The senior ran for 338 yards on the night.
Need money for college? You need My Student Aid. My Student Aid is the go-to resource that helps Michigan families find money to pay for college. Plus, they'll guide you through the financial aid process and answer any questions you have. For grants, scholarships, and more, connect with My Student Aid, helping make college affordable for everyone. Learn more at michigan.gov/MIStudentAid.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Sam Davis.
Did you know? The officials in swimming do more than make sure everyone dives in at the same time. Each race has a turn judge who is positioned in line with the end wall. Their job is to make sure that each swimmer is executing the proper stroke during his or her turn. For example, if you're swimming the individual medley and you're in the backstroke lap, you must turn while using the backstroke. You can't go into the breaststroke while turning. If you do, the turn judge will signal to the referee by placing one hand overhead with an open palm, and then reporting it to the referee after the conclusion of the race. The referee will then decide if the turn was legal or if the swimmer should be disqualified.
Thanks, Sam. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you are interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. On the pitch, 4 boys soccer teams won MHSAA championships. Muskegon Western Michigan Christian got a goal from Matthew Bradford Royal with less than 15 minutes to go in a 1-0 win over Ann Arbor Green Hills in the Division IV championship match. In Division III, Holland Christian shut out Grosse Ile 2-0, winning its first finals title since 2003. The D2 title went to Richland Gull Lake, who knocked off Bloomfield Hills Cranbrook Kingswood 1-0. Gull Lake scored the game's lone goal in the first minute of the match. And the Division I title was won by Rochester Adams. They handed Rockford their first loss of the year in a 2-0 win. Complete coverage of all 4 championship matches can be found at MHSAA.com. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week.
A spot in the Division 5 semifinal is on the line as Oakridge welcomes in Gladwin to Jack Sugar's Field here at Russell A. Erickson Stadium in a matchup of ranked teams. I'm Scott VanSickle here with Phil Anderson, and these two teams, they've been dominating this year with a combined 21-1 overall record. So Phil, I mean, this is should be a pretty good game here brewing between these two squads.
Oh, exactly, Scott. We've got a couple really high-scoring offenses and pretty tough defenses out here on the field. Oakridge is averaging almost 30 points a game offensively and giving up just a little bit over 12 points a game defensively. On the other side, the Gladwin Flying G's, they're averaging almost 50 points a game offensively and only giving up just a little bit over 8 points a game. So we got a couple tough teams here that are getting matched up in this regional finals.
Yeah, they certainly are. And you talked about some of those stats. You look at these records. That Flying G's team, they put up an 11-0 record, and they've steamrolled their opponents this year. You look at their points for and points against. It's 538 points scored for Gladwin and giving up 93 points. So I mean, they've been a high-powered offense to say the least, and a stingy defense. So it's going to be a tough matchup for Oakridge on both sides of the football. And you kind of look at their schedule. The closest game that Gladwin's had this year, Phil, is a 33-27 win over Pontiac Notre Dame. Usually a pretty solid program throughout the years, right. Coming down out of the Detroit area. And, this defense for Gladwin, I mean, they've been just almost impossible to score on. I mean, they pitched, 5 shutouts and didn't allow any points until week 5.
Right.
So, I mean, points have been few and far between for this team. And you look at Oakridge on the other hand, they've got a 10-1 record that they bring into this afternoon's contest, and their defense hasn't allowed more than 8 points going back to that loss against Whitehall, their only loss of the season. So this defense is kind of peaking, it seems, at the right time as well.
Oh, exactly, Scott. And really, there's a couple things about this game here. Basically it's the strength of schedule between both these teams. Oakridge's strength of schedule, they've actually played 4 higher division schools in Division 3 Sparta, Division 4 Ludington, Fremont, and Whitehall, like you talked about. That was their only loss to Whitehall, who was ranked number 1 in the state in Division 4 at that time. And then the rest were their own division and a few in the lower division. Now on the other side, Gladwin, they've played just 2. They haven't played anybody above their division. They're just reloading every year with this Oakridge team. Now we can go back to the Oakridge coach, Kerry Harder. He's in his 12th season this year with a 108-25 record so far, and he's got quite a reputation in the playoffs too. During his tenure here, he's had 6 West Michigan titles, 9 or more winning seasons in the 12 years he's been there. He's had 5 division district championships, 1 regional championship, and he's trying to lengthen that now and try to get farther into that semifinal and final playoff.
Yeah, exactly. And, as we kind of take a closer look at both of these teams, let's remind everybody that our title sponsor for this broadcast here on CatchMark SportsNet is North Grove Brewers, and some of the additional sponsors are Van Dyke Mortgage, Lakeshore, Durga Insurance Group, Grieve Law, West Michigan Divorce, Big Stone Therapies, Green Ridge Realty with Chris Dykema and Sarah Reel, Foundation Systems of Michigan with John Botten, Coldwell Banker with Dave Dusenberry, and Scheid Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. So big thanks to them for bringing this football game here to this afternoon. And as you look at this game here, Phil, I mean, this Gladwin team, we were kind of talking about it before we went on the air, but I mean, they've just been able to put up plenty of points, obviously, as we said, but it's the big playability as well. You look at some of these stats. I mean, it's unreal. They've got very high yards per rush, yards per catch, and they've got a variety of weapons that they can use at their disposal to be able to move the football down the field. So it's going to be a very critical for this Oakridge defense to be able to maintain their assignments and not over pursue those kind of basic things if they're going to want to be able to move on here and make it to the Division 5 semifinal next week.
Yeah, Scott. Really, I think depending on, I think it's going to be the first 2 possessions, or the first possession for each of these teams in the first quarter here. That's going to kind of tell you where they're going to feel each other out. They're going to try to figure out who's going to do what, and it's going to be a learning process for both these teams. I mean, obviously, this is I look back and I haven't seen Gladwin and Oakridge play. This is the first time they've ever played each other regular season or playoffs. So this is going to be new to both of these programs to see how the other team plays. Obviously, they watch tapes of each other, so it's going to be really that first quarter kind of going to be feeling each other out a little bit, defensively and offensively, and see exactly what each team can do and what they're going to show the other team come that first quarter. But after that, like you had said, Scott, a couple good defenses out here, a couple high-scoring offenses. Teams that can rack up the rushing yards and passing yards. So it's going to be really interesting to see. This is going to end up being a close game here. We're looking at a close game here when it comes down to that fourth quarter.
Yeah, we'll see. We talk about this offense, just to kind of look at some of these individual players. I mean, obviously the offenses always start with the quarterback. Nick Wheeler is a senior. I mean, he's a dual threat. He can throw the football. He can run the football. He's put up 70 rushing yards over 5 times this season, and he's been over 100 yards passing 4 different times. So, if Oakridge is able to shut down one aspect of this Gladwin offense, then they can look to the other side of the road. Obviously, that's going to be a big key to being able to contain both the run and the passing game. But when you look at some of these, you got Earl Esseline, senior running back. Logan Kokotovich, he's been able to put up big yards. You look at Esseline, he put up 244 yards last week against Kingsford, and he put up 221 yards in a mid-season contest against Clare. So he's obviously a big threat. Kokotovich, he's had his best 2 games in the playoffs: 154 yards rushing, 140 yards against Kingsford last week. So those are going to be 2 of the main cogs. But they've got other guys that can step up, and they have stepped up throughout the year. You look at a guy like Jace Macy. He put up over 100 yards in week 1, and in week 8 he put up 119 yards. So you've got different guys that they can go to, and then in the passing game, it's Lucas Mead. He's their top receiver. Obviously with the fact that they've been able to put up over 30, over 40, 50 points in a lot of these games, had a lot of running clocks. I believe it's 7 of their 11 games have been running clocks. So they haven't been able to throw probably as much as they might have to in a game like this, or as you get farther down in the playoffs. But he's going to be the one to watch in the passing game for Gladwin. And then the linemen are obviously have been stout for this Gladwin team, and it's not a surprise that they have been, considering the amount of points and the yards that they've put up.
They can open up some holes.
Exactly, and you got a guy like Lincoln McKinnon, Riley Bean. Those 2 are really the 2 big linemen that Oakridge is going to have to contend with here today. McKinnon at the guard and Bean at the tackle. So and plus, you hear the coach for Gladwin. He raves about his receivers blocking. So really, this could end up being the toughest team. Obviously, the Eagles had to face a very, very strong Whitehall team midway through the season, but this could end up being the most all-around balanced team that Oakridge has seen this year.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Scott. A lot of talent on this Gladwin team. They got a lot of, like you said, when you can get receivers that are good blockers, that's an extra part of your offense that a lot of teams are privy to. So when you can do that, you got a lot of blocking. Obviously, Gladwin's gained a lot of yardage. The other side of the ball with Oakridge Eagles, they have their star running back Trevor Jones, who's had regular season was 171 carries for 1,233 yards, 19 touchdowns in the regular season. Obviously, he's got over 20 touchdowns now. He's averaging 7.2 yards a carry so far, even into the playoffs. So you expect a lot out of that guy because he's a tough runner. He's got some speed, some deception. Then you go to quarterback Matt Denachek. He's a runner too. They kind of trade off, between Jones and Denachek running the ball, and they do a great job of that. Denachek's got 12 TDs so far in the regular season, only throwing 6 interceptions. So you got a backfield for the Oakridge Eagles, plus their front line that's been opening up holes for them in blocking. You've got a couple offenses. It's going to be really interesting to see who can do what this year.
Yeah,
in this game for this against the defenses.
Exactly. You talked about Oakridge and their ability to run the ball. We can't forget their ability to pass the football as well. Danishek, he put up over 1,200 yards. You factor in the playoffs last week. And he's well over 1,300 yards through the air this season. So if they're able to contain the running game, Glad was able to shut that down a little bit. Then they can go to the air too, Can Oakridge. So it should be fun to watch. We got a couple of offenses that are very versatile, and it's going to lend to a lot of points depending on how well the defenses are able to contain them. And it should be a fun matchup to watch.
And it should be. I'm expecting a lot of movement with both offenses between 20-yard lines because the defense, I think both these offenses are going to keep the other defense off balance enough where you cannot key on what they're going to do or if they're going to pass or run. And so I think we're going to have a lot of movement between the 20s. It's going to be getting down inside the 20s in that red zone is going to be the big difference. Which team with that short side of the field can power it or get a short pass and score? That's where it's going to all happen. Inside the 20s, the red zone.
Exactly. And, you hear Coach Harger kind of talking with some of the local media. One of the things that he mentioned to us last week too, is that just how they want to set the tone physically in this game on the lines, right? And be able to control those trenches and use that physicality to be able to move these Gladwin players out of the way, be able to get to the quarterback and the running backs when they're on defense, to be able to open up some nice holes on the offensive side. So they did a pretty good job. Oakridge did last week about kind of out physicaling Belding, if that's a word, but see how well this Gladwin team is going to be able to control the line as they have all year on both sides of the football. So it's going to be I think that's going to be the big key right there. That's going to be where the game's won and lost, is in the trenches with those big guys.
Exactly. You are exactly right, Scott. It's going to be right in the trenches, and how both of these teams react and how the defense can plug up those holes between tackles and how the offense can create those holes. That's where a lot's going to be told in this game. And I think starting out in that first quarter and stuff, I think one of these teams is going to try to come out and dominate and make a statement here in the first quarter, just to let them know that, hey, we're here to play.
Exactly. We're getting close here to kickoff. Got about 3 minutes left on the scoreboard. I want to take a look at the local schedule too. We still had our game here and another game with the Muskegon Big Reds. They're taking on the co-champion Zeeland West squad. The Zeeland West 10-1, Big Reds 9-2. They both shared the OK Green Conference Championship, and we've got that game being played it's actually going on right now as we speak. It started at 1 o'clock at Hackley Stadium. The winner's going to get DeWitt in the semifinal. So the Big Reds still trying to get back to Ford Field again. As Coach Shane Fairfield, he's done a great job over the years and looking to continue that this year as well. And obviously we had the game last night we talked about before we came on air with that Whitehall South Christian game with Classic. There it was a 28-21 win for South Christian, but Whitehall had his chance. They got the football back, had about 9 seconds to go. You see the video circulating online. Last night they had about 6 different laterals, so they're kind of going for a new version of that Music City Miracle from the Titans, or the Buffalo Bills many years ago. But it came up just short. But the Vikings played a great game, had a great season, and so congratulations to them. But we've got two more teams in Muskegon County trying to move on and continue this tradition of strong football here in Muskegon County.
And that's it. Muskegon County is being very well represented by the teams they have here. Muskegon Catholic Central, again, they're in the playoffs 32 times. They're right up where Oakridge is. Muskegon Big Reds, they've been in the playoffs 30 times. So this is a tradition that Muskegon goes by. That North Muskegon's been up there too, but this is a tradition that this city of Muskegon has been used to. Some powerhouse teams.
Exactly. We're getting closer and closer here to kick off. To kind of look at these schedules. You got Gladwin, as we said, they came in at 11-0. They were 6-0 in the Jack Pine Conference, so they were obviously the champions. They outscored their opponents 538-93. But the one knock you talked about it earlier, Phil, the strength of schedule. Their opponents were 55 and 53, and that includes the playoffs. So they've is that going to be a determining factor? Maybe maybe not, but that's something that take into consideration. I mean, they started off the season with an impressive 62-0 win over Chip Hills, and then beat Harrison 56-0, Shepherd 54-0, Clare 38-0. Sanford Meridian 58-7, Pinconning 58-0, Notre Dame out of Pontiac 33-27, Beaverton 60-7, and Standish Sterling 35-7.
Earlier this week,
and they've got a couple of nice wins in the playoffs, 35-20 over West Branch Ogama Heights, and 59-25 for Kingsford. But we're going to have a moment of silence here for a local family, so we'll take a moment of silence.
Thank you very much. And now, good afternoon.
And then obviously,
The
as we
Michigan
look
High School
at
Athletic
Oakridge,
Association
they started it off
welcomes
in a
you to
non-conference
Russell
win,
A.
30-14
Erickson
over
Stadium
Sparta. Beat
for
Mason
today's
County
regional
Muskegon
championship game in the
Catholic Center.
2022
Wrong
Division
Catholic
V
team, but
football
20-14
playoffs.
rolled past Manistee 46-19,
Ladies and
Ludington
gentlemen,
30-18,
the
Fremont
privilege of this game was
36-8
made
before
possible by those
stumbling
who
against
fought
Whitehall. There are a lot of teams that fell to Whitehall this year. It was 42-8 that score. They got a 4-foot win over Orchard View, 48-6 win over Ravenna, and 45-7 win over Montague. That rounded out the regular season. They beat Shepherd 32-0 in the playoffs, and Belding 30-8 last week. And we've got the national anthem here ready to be played by the marching band for Oakridge. So we'll step aside, come back. And that was a nice job by the Oakridge Marching Band with our national anthem. As we're getting ready to get this game underway, the 11-0 Flying G's of Gladwin putting their undefeated record on the line, looking to move on to the next week's semifinal game where they'll take on Grand Rapids Catholic Central, or will it be Oakridge, 10-1 on the season, that will be moving on to yet another berth in the semifinals. Phil, should be an excellent game here as we're getting ready to get this game started. And the Oakridge Eagles, they've got the gray jerseys with the blue pants, blue numbers, and the blue helmets. And on the far sideline, the visiting Flying G's in the white uniforms, pants, and shirts with the blue numbers and the white helmets. And we've got this game ready to go here as the Eagles, coached by Kerry Harger, as Phil mentioned, 12th-year head coach and a Hall of Fame member as well. So obviously, Coach Harger's done a great job carrying on the tradition set forward by previous coach Jack Sugars. And then on the Gladwin sideline, you've got Mark Jarsfer. He's in his 4th year, and he's got his team ready and rearing to go here as they're trying to claim their first berth in the semifinals since 1998. And we got the Gladwin G's. They're gonna kick the football off. So the Eagles, Phil, they're gonna get their first crack on the offensive side to see how well they're able to get things going there.
Yep. The Oakridge Eagle will be able to see what this Eagle offense is going to try to start out with. They're going to run. Obviously, they're going to run what's got them here to start out this game, Scott. So we're going to see some running abilities. They're going to see how well they can run against this Gladwin defense, and the kickoff goes into the end zone. Touchback.
So the Eagles will take over 12 minutes exactly on the clock. The first down and 10. We'll get this first look at this Oakridge offense. Obviously, as we mentioned, the quarterback, Matt Danicek. Running back tonight is Trevor Jones. And on the offensive line, we talked about being a big key. At the left tackle, you got Taven Watson. Left guard, Riley Bean. Center, Gage Lowry. Right guard, Aiden Johnston. Right tackle is Noah McFadden. First down and 10. We had Danicek in the shotgun, and he's got Jones to his right. Handoff's going to go to Jones up the middle, and he's still on his feet before being tackled by Michael Tackett. So the Eagles go to the ground in that first play. It'd be a short gain. Called second down and 8 to go. Football at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, it's a nice spin move. Jones got right up in there, put his head down, did a nice hard hit, was able to spin and get another yard out of that.
As we're going to have a flag here, and that's going to be against the Eagles and be a false start.
The indication on the field is false start against the Eagles.
Back 5 yards. Those are obviously the things, Phil, you want to be able to avoid. I mean, as a coach, you can take some of those aggression penalties, right? The holding, maybe hitting just a little, a half second too late. But those ones like false start, those kind of procedure penalties are the ones that will drive a coach nuts.
Exactly, and by this time in the season, those should all be worked out. There shouldn't be any false starts, or offsides on defense or stuff like that. That's just something that in this part of the season should all be worked out.
So Danicek, going to clap the hands to get the football. Surveys right, surveys left, nothing there. He's going to tuck it and run. And he's going to have most of that penalty yardage back as he's going to be forced out of bounds. Like a Tackett in the area as well as Kokatovic, that linebacker. He's going to be the guy that we're going to call his name a lot at the linebacker spot.
Exactly. That's a very talented Gladwin defense. They got 3 down linemen and the 2 stand-up defensive ends and the 2 middle and then the middle linebackers. And very strong and very supportive of that run game.
So third down and 10. Eagles have 3 wideouts on the left side for Danicek. He's going to be flushed out of the pocket. That's Lincoln McKinnon that forced him out, and Danicek's going to heave it up. He's going to be caught. That's number 1. That's a Braden Cunningham. That should be enough for the first down. That was a good job by Danicek to just stay there in the pocket as he had McKinnon breathing down his neck and knew he was going to take a hit and delivered a nice pass.
Exactly, Scott. And he did have some room to run when he started to sprint out to his left, but he was more willing to try to get that ball downfield with a nice pass catch. And first down for Oakridge at their own 36-yard line.
Completion of 16 yards as the Eagles are able to overcome that penalty on second down. The 2-by-2 look for Danicek. Jones to his right, going to send Cunningham in motion. Going to hand it off to him on that jet sweep. Got Jones out there blocking as he's able to get the corner initially, but nice job by the Flying G's to pursue there as Mead Kokatovic also in on the stop.
And yeah, that's Gladwin defense doing a nice job of spreading out those sideline runs for Oakridge, getting out there and not giving them a lot of yardage there. It looks like a 2-yard gain for Oakridge.
Second down and 8. Eagles have trips left as they work towards the north end zone. It's like a high snap. Danicek able to grab it, going to toss it out. Knapp's got the catch. He's going to be stopped right about the 40-yard line. Nick Wheeler comes up and makes the tackle. Donald Corlo, the third, also in on the assist.
Making the stop for the Flying G's.
Give him his forward progress up to the we'll call it the 41-yard line.
It'll be third down for the Eagles.
So third down, we'll call about 5 yards to go.
It's a little bit of a, just a short sideline pass. Nice 3-yard gain out of it, putting Oakridge again back in a third down situation. Third down and 5.
Flying G's, they show a 4-man front. They're going to play off the receivers here on the near side. Danicek, when the quarterback draws, got a lane up the middle. He's got the first down and more. Still on his feet as he crosses into Gladwin territory as he's going to be stopped by Corlew at the 41-yard line. Though. Big run there by Danicek on the quarterback draw. And the chains move once again for the Eagles.
Had a nice quarterback draw, something that kind of surprised the the Gladwin defense, and on third down during the regular season, third down percentages, the Oakridge was at about 77% during the regular season in third down conversion. So another third down, first down on this series and drive.
Clock continues to roll. 8 minutes left here in the first quarter. Still scoreless. Danachek takes the high snap, hands it off Jones. And he's going to be hit right away there, Kokatovic and Wheeler. And going to get maybe 2 yards on the play.
And number 12, Logan Kokatovic.
So second down, we'll call it 8 yards to go. Ball at the Gladwin 39. Eagles will have 3 wideouts on the right side of the formation this time. Danachek with the hand clap. Going to drop back, looking to pass. Going to toss it out. That's Jones with it. Boy, he's going to be met right away. Nobody fooled on that Gladwin defense. That's Esseline on the tackle. It'll be a loss on the play.
It'll be third down for the Eagles.
Loss, almost back to the original line of scrimmage. May have gotten a half a yard.
Third down, we'll call it 9 yards to go. Opening drive of the game for the Eagles. Trying to see what they want to change the play. Takes a snap. Danachek drops back. Got McKinnon closing and got a man open across the middle of the field. Tipped around a couple of times, and it's going to be intercepted. That's Kokatovic that's able to catch it. It was a tip drill in effect there. It took about 3 or 4 different bounces off of various hands on both sides before Kokatovic was able to haul it in.
Yeah, that's the old tip drill they teach you in practice. When that ball's up, it's still live. You just go all out and grab it. And it got tipped a couple times. Nice diving catch to intercept it, and a turnover for the Oakridge Eagles. With the Gladwin starting at their own 17, looks like 16, 17 yard line.
Be first down and 10. Get our first look at this high-powered offense as the Esseline on the run. And he's got the corner. He's going to be knocked out of bounds. Maybe be a big run there. See, the chains will move. He's going to be marked out to just short of the. They're going to spot him right at the 40-yard line. It looks like. He's able to get that edge and gets a big run on the first play from scrimmage for the Gladwin Flying G's. So Gladwin ready to line up second play from scrimmage. Got a backer on either side of Wheeler, the quarterback. That's going to be Kokatovic on the carry. He's going to be stopped in the backfield. Good job by the Oakridge defense to crash through. Brody Jennings leading the way, and a handful of Eagles in on that tackle. They'll give him a forward progress to the line of scrimmage, so no gain there for Kokatovic. Second down and 10.
Yeah, that was a nice reaction of those linebackers. Jennings, who's done very good job this year. Actually, all-conference selection for the West Michigan Conference. Brody Jennings does a nice job of stuffing that play, bringing up second and 10.
Kokatovic in the backfield with Wheeler. They're going to fake it to him. There'll be a pass going to be high, and it's going to be intercepted. That's the 27. It's 21 Lorenzo Garcia that was able to catch a couple of interceptions off of tipped balls, and the Eagles able to come up with a stop on defense, and they're going to take over Will Oakridge with excellent field position inside Gladwin territory. 5:19 to go in the quarter.
Yeah, a couple turnovers for both these teams on their first drive. A little bit of passing and a tip drill on both these sides. Both team defenses doing a nice job of getting a turnover, giving the Oakridge possession on the 46-yard line of Gladwin.
First down and 10, 2-by-2 formation. They're going to send Knapp in motion, fake the handoff to him, and it'll be Danachek on the keep, right up the gut.
Number 3, man.
And she's going to be wrapped up. Dominic Coates, the 6'2", 280-pound senior defensive tackle, makes the stop. Give him the 43-yard line, second down and 7 after that 3-yard pickup for Danachek. 24 yards so far on the ground for Danachek. He's going to make sure that all of his offensive linemen are ready to go. Claps of hands as Danchek's going to roll out. Thought he spotted an opening, and he's going to toss it in a tight window. It's going to be caught. Number 7, Evan Miller, with the catch in traffic. And he's going to be wrestled down by Braden Ritchie, but boy, nice job by Danchek to thread the needle.
You know, that's kind of that's a tough throw. He's running to his right. He's trying to throw back across his body because he's trying to get back and throw it more towards the inside of the field. And sometimes that's a dangerous throw, but it was a good throw for Danchek, and first down for Oakridge at Gladwin, 35-yard line.
A pickup of 8. It's going to be ball's on the turf, and boy, I think Gladwin's going to have it, and they do. There's number 81, Michael Tackett, on the fumble recovery. So a couple of turnovers for the Eagles to open things here, Phil, after taking an interception.
Exactly. Yep. Interception on their first possession and a quick fumble on their second possession for the Oakridge Eagles. So this has kind of been a surprise. Something that I didn't expect for turnovers in the game like this. There are a couple pretty good offenses that can move the ball through the air and on the ground, and a couple turnovers so far. So making it interesting.
It's going to be a toss to the outside. It's going to be Esseline with the carry. He's going to get that far corner. They work on that left side. Working behind Aiden Samulik, the left tackle, and the left guard, Lincoln McKinnon. They're going to take it out to the 49-yard line. It'll be a nice gain by Esseline there. Second down and short. 3 wideouts to the right side of the formation for Gladwin as they work left to right. And it's going to be Kokatovic again on the carry, just lowers those shoulders. He's going to have the first down as he crosses into Oakridge territory right at the 46-yard line. Chains will move after that gain of 5 yards. Gladwin trying to take advantage of the turnover by the Eagles. And they've had 2 turnovers so far. Couldn't do anything with the first one, that interception, but they're going forward here on after the fumble. And send Meade in motion, and they're going to fake the handoff to him. It's Wheeler up the middle, spin move, and he's going to be dragged down. It's the 34, Jones, with the tackle.
Brought down by number 34, Trevor Jones. The gain is good for
it's going to be a good enough run for a first down. Gladwin on the move.
Nice run by Wheeler right up the middle. Just kind of faked the handoff and ran it right up the middle. A nice quarterback keeper. Good for a first down. This is the first possession that Gladwin had. Obviously, they threw an interception, but they seem to be maintaining the ball in this possession and are looking to score.
So it's Esseline on that in motion, and he's going to try to get that corner again on a jet sweep, and if he knocked out of bounds, looked like he may have lost a yard. Well, that's a good job by the Oakridge defense. String that thing out and not let Esseline get the corner.
It'll be second down for the Flying G's.
Looks like maybe a 1-yard loss on that play, bringing up 2nd and 11 for Gladwin.
Second down and 11. Wheeler looks to pass. No, he's going to tuck it, and he tries to run. Boy, he's going to get lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Brought down by number 14, Brody Jennings.
So Jennings on the tackle.
It'll be third down for the Flying G's.
And we're going to be calling Jennings' name quite a bit this afternoon in this game. The workhorse defensive linebacker for the Oakridge Eagles.
Call it no gain, third down and 11. Football sitting at the 33-yard line of Oakridge. We got 2 minutes remaining in the quarter, still scoreless. That's going to be Wheeler off a double fake, and he's going to get it maybe a yard or 2, so it's going to bring up 4th down. And the Eagles are going to have to come up with a stop here on 4th down to stifle this drive.
It'll be 4th and 9 for the Flying G's.
Yeah, nice defensive play by the right side of that Oakridge defense. Defensive end and linebackers coming up there, eliminating that play, bringing it 4th down and 9.
4th down and 9. Wheeler drops back, looking to pass, going to loft it up, and it's going to be incomplete. A little bit of contact. Look, I think we got a flag down there on the near sideline. As the cornerback looked like he had hands on the receiver. We'll see if the officials will agree. It is going to be pass interference. So what turned out to be, Phil, a stop on 4th down, it's going to be a 1st down.
Yes, definitely. That's unfortunately, the ball was, in a way, it was really uncatchable. But because of the contact by the defensive cornerback, he got the flag, and it gives life back to the Gladwin Flying G's down to the Oakridge 15-yard line.
So we have 1st down and 10 at the 15. Flying G's trying to take advantage of that penalty to extend this drive. It's 2 penalties so far for the Eagles. That's going to be Wheeler, going to toss it out Esseline. And he's going to slip through 1 tackle and going to get knocked out of bounds.
Number 8, Nate Wheeler's
after
pass
a minimal gain.
Number 33, Earl Esseline. Driven out of bounds by number 34, Trevor Jones.
Jones was able to force him out of bounds. Move it down to the 12-yard line. 2nd down, we'll call it 7 to go.
Nice support on the right side of that Oakridge defense to come up and get that play for a minimum gain.
It's going to be Wheeler on the carry. Oakridge does a nice job. They got 3 tacklers right there ready to envelop the Gladwin quarterback. Another short gain as they're down about 35 seconds to go in the quarter. Be a 3rd down, about 6 yards to go. Minimal gain, maybe a half a yard for Wheeler there on the carry. Wheeler with the pass to the outside. It's going to be complete. That's McDonald still on his feet trying to get into the end zone. He's going to be stopped short. It'll be 1st down and goal to go after the completion.
Lorenzo Garcia, number 27, Brian Elizondo.
They're going to call it the 1-yard line, so the Eagles are going to have to come up with a big stand here.
1st and goal for the Flying G's.
That's going to be Kokatovich. All Oakridge defense able to come up with that. Jennings leading the way on this tackle, able to stuff that run right up the gut by Kokatovich. That'll take us to the end of the 1st quarter. Eagles are still have their backs against the wall here as Gladwin's going to have the 2nd down and goal to go. Lucky bounce into the hands of Isaac Hale, and he's able to walk it into the end zone for the touchdown.
That's where the luck went to the Gladwin there. The running back got popped pretty hard, and that ball just popped right up in the air. But heads up by one of the Gladwin, looks like maybe the tight end or something, grabbed it and was just able to walk into the end zone for a touchdown.
Had Hale Johnny on the spot. That ball basically fell right into his hands, and he's able to take it into the end zone. The Eagles knocked the football out, unable to take advantage of that loose football, as we'll have Anna Seebeck in to attempt the extra point. That ball's gonna hit the crossbar and be no good. It's having a kick into the wind was Seebeck. She's usually been pretty automatic from what we hear in kicking, but not the case there. Is having a kick into that wind. So it'll be 6-0 Gladwin as they take advantage of that fumble by the Eagles.
Exactly, and that's a sign of a good offense, you get a turnover, you capitalize on that turnover. Gladwin did. They ended up going 60 yards on that play, 12-play drive, taking up about a little bit over 4 minutes on that drive for a score, a 6-point score. Unfortunately, like you said, Scott, their kicker is normally pretty, Dave said, is pretty automatic when it comes down to field goals and extra points. But that could
at the
Be a
south end
big
concession
difference in
stand.
this game.
Or you can venture down to the north
Kicking
end of
can
the
play
stadium and support
a
the
big
band
difference in this
parents.
game, and that missed
Where you can
extra
purchase
point
walking
certainly can
tacos,
give Oakridge that
candy, hot
advantage.
chocolate, and other refreshments.
They get their offense going.
Number 11,
Trayton Seegert ready to kick the football away for the Flying G's.
Back deep for the Eagles, number 7.
Evan Miller
number
back deep to
21.
receive, as well as Lorenzo Garcia. He had the interception for Oakridge earlier in this ball game. And the kick is away. High end over end kick. And Miller's going to take it, we'll call it at the 7. Trying to look for a running lane up the middle. Got a couple of blocks as he's going to be wrestled down by Braden Ritchie after a nice game. The Eagles will take over first down and 10. Call it right on the 30-yard line. And before the Eagles snap this football, I want to remind everybody to subscribe for free to the CatchMark SportsNet YouTube channel. Don't forget that CatchMark's also on all the social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you like them, and you can also go to CatchMarkSports.com for even more local coverage. First down and 10 as Jones going to take the handoff, looking for a crease off the left side. Got a nice hold ball, did come out. They're going to say that he was down as he's going to be stopped at the 39 by Corlew.
Down on the play by number 1, Donald Corlew III. And 33.
Again, a problem with putting that ball on the ground in this third possession for the Oakridge Eagles. A nice gain by Jones, nice 9-yard gain. He found some holes on that left side and was actually able to get it up, making it a second down and short.
So trips right for the Eagles. Flip it to the outside. Knapp's got it. They got the first down, and he's going to be wrestled to the ground by Mead. Not before another first down for the Eagles. Spot Knapp down at the 45-yard line to pick up a 6 on that pass play.
Just a nice little pass and catch between Danachek and Knapp. They've been a good combination all season, Danachek and Knapp.
Jones to the right of Danachek. He's going to take the handoff, trying to get the corner. Got a couple of nice blocks on the outside, but not able to hold them long enough to get the significant gain, probably about 2 yards. As Jones trying to bounce it to the outside.
And I think Oakridge is going to kind of find that a little bit challenging in this game. With the support of this Gladwin defense, they can come up and support those sweeps, those runs to the outside of the field. They're going to be short gains, but short gains are better than negative yardage. So
exactly.
It's up a 2nd and 8 for Oakridge.
Trips right for the Eagles. Jones to the right of Danachek. Danachek will take the snap, going to roll it out. Quick pass is going to be short, and kind of went sidearm on that one, trying to get it to Knapp. As that pass will fall incomplete. 3rd down and 8. For Oakridge, find themselves trailing in this one 6-0. 10-11 to go until halftime. We'll see what the Eagles can dial up here on 3rd down. If they can move the chains.
Yeah, so far in this game, the Eagles are 2 for 3 on 3rd down conversions, and they're going to try to add to it here. They need to go to the Gladwin 45-yard line.
Danachek's going to relay the signals to his offensive lineman in this big 3rd down for Oakridge. And it's going to be Jones trying to bust it to the outside, able to slip past one tackler, gets past Wheeler, still on his feet. He's going to be stopped short of the line to gain. Kokatovic able to catch up with him.
Making the stop for the Flying G's, number 2.
Here rule that his forward was progress was stopped inbounds as he takes it to the Flying G's 49. 4th down. We'll see if they elect to go for it, or they do that. Do a quick kick with Danachek.
Exactly. Danachek is their punter, and their quarterback. So a quick kick, kind of gives them an advantage too to pin Gladwin deep in their territory. But I think it's 4 down territory. We'll have to see. Maybe they'll try to draw them off sides to start out with.
They're going to bring in the blocking back. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. It's going to be Jones. Boy, I don't know. He's going to have to get a push, and he did. We'll see where they spot him down.
Got a big push. It's going to be pretty close for Oakridge. He got him pretty close to that 45-yard line.
Jones on the carry.
We'll have to see. I would think, Phil, that they're going to rule that he got
the ball. They're going to rule him. He made it first down, Oakridge.
I'll tell you what, he didn't make it by much either.
Oh, he didn't.
That official had his right foot about halfway on the 45, so he got exactly what he needed.
First down.
And it took some hard-nosed effort to get there because he was actually hit a yard or two short of the 45. But with the power that he has and his running ability, he was able to muster it up to that 45 for first down for Oakridge.
I think he might have got a little help from the lineman as well,
Yeah.
with a little extra nudge forward. So go back to Jones again, right up the gut. As he's going to take it out to the 40s, maybe stacked up. The ball did come out, but I think that they're to say his forward progress was stopped.
Leading the way for the
So
Flying
we've seen
G's, number 81,
so far,
Michael
Phil,
Tackett. It'll be second down for
Flying
the
G's
Eagles.
not afraid to try to rip that football out,
Oh, no.
especially when you get into a pack like that.
Exactly. That's a smart defense. It's actually a smart defense. You got to go for the ball.
Second down and 5 as Gladwin leads this one 6-0. Eagles on the move, 8 minutes to go in the half. Oakridge driving towards that south end zone. As Danicek will have Jones to his right, or to his left, excuse me. He's going to take the handoff, going back to Jones again. He's going to slip through one arm tackle. He's got a lane. Another arm tackle finally brought down by Esseline. A couple of big misses there for Gladwin on a couple of tackles. Jones just powered his way through, and he's got the first down. He's going to be stopped for maybe a yard. It was Tackett that came on and made the stop.
Number 81, Michael Tackett. It'll be second down
Again,
for the
Jones
Eagles.
trying to find some running room on that left side of the line. There's not much there this time. Gladwin defense stuffed that very nicely, bringing up a 2nd and 9 for Oakridge.
That's the 7th run for Jones in this drive out of the 9 plays. See if they go back to him again. Under center is Danicek. They're going to go to Jones. It's going to run right through. It looked like the
Number 34, Trevor Jones
off
on
of
the
that
carry.
left guard. He's going to get down to about the 19-20 yard line.
Making the stop for the Flying G's, number 77,
down,
Dominic Coates.
6 we'll call it.
It'll be third down for
Stopped
the
by
Eagles.
77 Coates. Eagles once more go to Jones. He's been the workhorse back, as Phil said. I mean, he was the leading rusher, heading into, through the regular season by about 900 yards. They're going to go to it again on a toss right side, up through the middle, still on his feet, as he's going to be slowed up by Esseline and stopped, but not before picking up the first down.
Leading the way for the
Yep,
Flying
and this
G's,
is
number 33.
the bread and butter for Oakridge Eagles here. Jones left, Jones right.
The game is good
Danicek,
for an Eagle first
right up the
down.
middle, or him sprinting out and trying to get some yardage outside, or him throwing some short passes. This is the bread and butter for the Oakridge Eagles, and it's paying off in their 3rd possession of the game here.
9 carries so far for Jones in this drive. 61 yards is his first down and 8. He's going to go back to him again, and he's going to be hit initially. Esseline makes the first contact. Able to get a couple on that one is Jones, the running back.
Brought down by number 33, Earl
Eagles just trying to
Esseline.
power their way down the field.
And
They have so
81,
far
Michael
10
Tackett.
carries for Jones in this drive.
It'll be
Yep, it's all
second
been
down
Trevor
for the
Jones'
Eagles.
series, this 3rd series for the Oakridge Eagles. And you can see out there too, is once the Gladwin defense starts to converge on it, they're trying to rip that ball away too. You can see that from up here.
Go back again, same play up the gut. He tried to take it, cut it back to the right side, and his progress is going to be stopped. Wheeler going to make the tackle. He's going to get down to the 4-yard line, so he's going 2 yards at a time in this series after that first down. 3rd down, goal to go.
This is obvious going to be
It'll be third and
four
goal
down
from the
possession
3
here.
for the Eagles.
The Eagles don't want to settle for anything but a touchdown.
4:45 to go in the half. Gladwin on top 6-0. Eagles trying to at least tie the game here with a touchdown. See if they go back to Jones. You kind of figure they will, as he's been the workhorse on this drive. And he's going to get the outside, cuts it back in, going to reach the football out, and he's into the end zone. 4:29 to go in the half.
Number 34, Trevor Jones.
Again, Trevor Jones. This has been a Trevor Jones drive. Like you said, Scott, this is a Trevor Jones drive. I think there was just one incomplete pass thrown on this. Well, one incomplete pass and one pass made on this drive, and that's been Trevor Jones to the left, Trevor Jones to the right. Finally, the Oakridge comes up with score after 3 possessions here.
Yeah, they go 70 yards on that drive. I mean, Jones, like you said, Phil, he was the workhorse on that one. And they're going to line up to go for 2, trying to break this 6-all tie. Got Miller in motion as Danacek trying to get to the outside. Slips through one tackle, and he's into the end zone. Boy, he's able to get that corner. Gladwin had him in the backfield, but is unable to wrap up on that tackle. Would have been a tough stop to make, but Danacek able to get away. 2-point run, good.
Again, Danacek, nice burst to speed, get around that left side. Able to just get to that corner, that front corner of the end zone for a 2-point conversion score, giving the Oakridge Eagles a 2-point lead so far in this first half.
Nice job by the Eagles on that drive. I mean, you look at it, Phil. I mean, they picked up 2 third downs and a 4th down conversion in that drive, and boy, that 4th down was as close as you can get.
Oh, it was. That was close.
And that really turned out to be a key play in that drive. Is obviously you don't get that extra push and that extra leg pump in there by Jones. They don't pick that up and don't get into the end zone.
Exactly, Scott. That was a 14-play 6-minute drive for the Oakridge Eagles, and that's the way they like to do is control the ball, control the time, control the ball, get a touchdown out of it. That takes a lot of time off that clock, and that's just the way Oakridge likes to do it.
For the Flying G's, number 33, Earl Esseline.
Esseline back to receive the kick for the Flying G's. Ryan Cribbins ready to boot the football away.
I wish we have a kicker that could do it.
Now Cribbins ready to put his right foot into it. It'll be a short kick, going to take a couple of bounces, and it's going to be grabbed at the 2 by Esseline. Trying to make a beeline down the far sideline, and is still on his feet.
Nice return.
Got some good speed. He's going to take it out to about the 40-yard line. Let's see what the Flying G's can do with 4:21 to go.
It'll be first and 10
Good.
for the Flying G's.
Good return by Esseline, giving Gladwin a nice possession on their own 40-yard line. First and 10.
So the Eagles able to take the lead back after a 14-play drive. 64 of those 70 yards coming from Trevor Jones. He takes it in from 4 yards out. And Danacek with that nice 2-point run to put the Eagles up 8-6. Flying G's back at work. Could be a halfback pass. It's going to be Meade. It's going to be well underthrown. As we're going to have the flag come in as the back, Danacek, the defensive back, had his arms around McDonald, the intended receiver. And that flag down at the 38-yard line. It's a little bit of a trickery there shown by Gladwin. They do the fake handoff, toss it to Meade. He's the wide receiver. He's going to chuck it down the field.
Right, and unfortunately, the ball was way underthrown, but the receiver was the only one that knew where it was at. The defender had his back to it, so when the receiver stopped to come back for it, the defender can do nothing but try to grab and try to keep him from catching the ball. So big penalty for Oakridge here, given the Gladwin first and 10 at the Oakridge 45-yard line.
It's going to be Wheeler after a couple of fakes keeping it. Is he going to run it up the middle?
Number 8, Nick Wheeler on the keeper.
Going to have his legs taken out from under him by Brian Elizondo after a gain of 6 yards. Second down, 4 to go. Football at the 39. Gladwin trying to answer the Eagles, who just scored a touchdown, take the lead. Esseline in motion. They're going to fake it to him. It'll be Wheeler on the carry. Going to bounce it to the outside. Nice tackle in the open field. It was Elizondo again. Able to stop Wheeler from picking up the first down. It'll be a third down and short. Called 36-yard line after that 3-yard gain by Wheeler, the quarterback.
Oakridge doing a nice job on that left side, coming up and supporting that run, keeping it from being a big game.
So they're going to have Esselin in motion, be Kokatovic. They're going to take the handoff on the dive play right up the middle. He's got the first down and more.
Run down by number 24,
As he crosses the 35 down to the 33.
First down.
Gladwin moving their way down the field. Got the help of that pass interference penalty on the opening play. They've got 2:40 to go until halftime, trying to see if they can tack on another score and retake the lead. Wheeler's got Kokatovic and Esselin in the backfield on either side. Two wideouts on the right. Handoff's going to be Kokatovic, and he's going to be stopped. Not a lot there for him. Julian Primer, as one of those linebackers you talked about in the pregame drill, comes up and makes a stop.
Maybe a couple yard gain on that for Kokatovic, making it 2nd and 8 for the Flying G's.
Football at the 31. Kokatovic to the right of Wheeler, the quarterback. Wheeler's going to drop back, going to heave it down the right side, lofted up, got plenty of air. Nice job this time by the Oakridge defense to break that up. That Garcia that got the head turned around and knocked the football away. Pass falls incomplete.
Yeah,
down and 8.
Nice defensive play by Garcia. He got his head around just in time, was able to come up. Actually, he had a better shot at catching that ball than the receiver behind him. So nice defensive play for the Oakridge Eagles, bringing up 3rd and 8 for Gladwin.
Got 2-by-2 look for the Flying G's. Kokatovic in the backfield. Going to fake the handoff to him. Is plenty of time for Wheeler. Going to dump it across the middle. It's going to be tipped and nearly intercepted. That was Elizondo. That was the Oakridge Eagle that tipped it away as they're trying to get that ball to Esselin.
Yeah, that was a gift for Elizondo because he could have grabbed that. He had an open field right up the right sideline, a clear shot for an end zone if he would have intercepted that ball. Bringing up 4th down and 8 for Gladwin. It looks like they're going to go for it. 4th and 8.
Kind of in no man's land there at the 31-yard line. Way too far for a field goal, kicking it into the wind as well, and you really don't want to punt it that close either. They're going to go for it here, 4th down. Got to get it to the 23. Wheeler drops back, got a man breathing down his neck. Ball's out, and it's going to be recovered by the Eagles. That was a 53 Riley Bean that came away with the loose football, and the Eagle defense makes a stand fill on 4th down. You got to think that's going to be a big boost for this Eagle team here as we've got 1:42 to go. See if they can score a touchdown off of it, or at least it's got to deflate this Gladwin offense that's been able to move the football up and down the field all year.
Exactly. Wheeler was going to his left, trying to sprint out to his left, but he had to try to get his body turned around to make a good throw. And by the time he got turned around, he was hit, lost control of the ball. But it would have been a turnover anyway, even if he hadn't fumbled it. So it would have been Oakridge's ball. So Oakridge 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
1:42 to work with as Jones going to take the handoff. He's still on his feet, finally taken down by Tackett. A handful of tackles so far.
Number 81, Michael Tackett.
Outside linebacker position. Jones takes it up to the 38. We'll call it 2nd down and 7. Clock still rolling, minute 10 to go. Gonna send Knapp in motion right to left. Danachek trying to find a lane, and boy, there's nowhere to go. He's attacked it again, going to make the tackle for Gladwin. Trying to get that motion field to open up a lane up the middle, and good job by Gladwin to stay disciplined and not fall for it.
Exactly. Nice job by that front defensive line and those linebackers for Gladwin. Coming up there and stuffing for a minimal gain on that play. Bringing up 3rd and about 6 or 7 yards to go.
Call it no gain for Danachek.
Macy, don't tell your sisters, you've always been my favorite football. And this just cements it in.
25 seconds to go in the half. Danachek's going to drop back looking to pass. They had to stop and go, and the play just took too long to develop, and he's going to be sacked. McKinnon on the tackle, as well as Hale.
And 54. Lincoln McKinnon.
I think Gladwin going to take a timeout here with fourth down coming up. We got 17 seconds to go, thinking that, don't let Oakridge just try to let the clock run, whether the Eagles go for it here or punt the football away. You have to think they're going to punt the football away. Maybe they can set up a return, get up a big play here before halftime.
Exactly, 17 seconds to go in this first half. Unfortunately, the Oakridge just could not get a first down on that series when they got the ball turned over back to them. So now they're going to give the ball back to. That's the way it looks. They're going to give the ball back to Gladwin. There's 17 seconds left, and see what Gladwin can do with that amount of time.
As we said, this Gladwin offense, whether they can, do something on the punt return or not, they've got it, some time. They've shown the ability to get big chunks of yardage throughout this season. So
yes.
Just because you can get a stop on the punt return doesn't mean that Gladwin is just going to take the knee and go into halftime.
Exactly. You don't get undefeated by just playing back and just playing it safe. You got to be aggressive.
Danachek to punt the football away. McDonald back deep. A nice kick for Danachek, going to drive him back to the 30. Going to slip through a tackle as he's still on his feet in the near sideline. Going to be shoved out of bounds.
Number 2, Caden
And
McDonald.
Oakridge is going to have 5 seconds here, Phil. We'll see if they're just going to heave it down the field, or they're going to set up a play and try to get a guy in space and be able to try to make a couple of moves. We'll see.
We'll see, yeah. This is going to be a challenge for them. Obviously, we haven't seen Gladwin play. They look like their offense is a pretty nice offense. They'll run the ball. They pass. They pass and run pretty much evenly here. So I don't know if they showed us that halfback pass, that trick play. So maybe they got a trick play here to try to get some receivers open. Obviously, the defensive backfield for Oakridge is very deep, and they're not going to let anything get behind it.
Yeah, they got a 3 deep look as Gladwin came out in that 2-by-2 look, single back set. And Gladwin's going to take a timeout, trying to see what Oakridge is going to come out with formation-wise on defense, and we'll see if that's going to change the formation for Oakridge coming back, or I think Gladwin's probably going to change the play here.
Exactly, it's going to give Coach Jarstfer a little chance to figure out what he wants to do on this long play before the first half is over here. Let's see what he can cook up here for his Gladwin flying G's.
They're going to have 5 seconds, more than likely going to be the final play of the half. Oakridge able to overcome a couple of turnovers, and they lead this one 8-6 thanks to that 2-point run by Danachek on the previous play, or previous drive, able to take in the 2-point run after Jones scored the touchdown. Gladwin, we'll see what they've got up their sleeve here on this first down and 10. Got 45 yards between them and the end zone. They come back with that same look, a 2-by-2 set. Wheeler in the shotgun, got it back to his right. Oakridge still has, they've got 5 deep. Pass going to be complete. McDonald's got it. Going to race down the sideline, going to step out of bounds. And trying to get out of bounds before, with 1 second left, and took just a hair too long. And that'll take us to halftime with Oakridge on top, 8-6. So they were trying to get a quick play there, Phil, to get a little bit of a better shot to heave it into the end zone. They got about 15 yards there before he stepped out. So, but unfortunately for Gladwin, time had run out.
Right, exactly. So they didn't have a lot of time left. To do some play like that, I would expect a little bit of lateral or something like that, and not just trying to run and get it downfield. So a good effort by Gladwin flying G's here in this first half. Oakridge did a nice job of being able to weather one interception on their first drive, and then they had a fumble on their second drive, which Gladwin capitalized on that fumble with a 12-play, 5-minute drive down for Gladwin's only score, where they missed the extra point kick. When Oakridge got the ball back, they finally settled down after their first 2 possessions of turnovers and had a 14-play set up there, Trevor Jones, drive that whole way. Just a couple passes in 14 plays, Jones ran it 12 times and was able to put it in for a score, touchdown, and also convert that 2-point conversion. So Oakridge Eagles up 8-6 here at halftime.
Yeah, that was 64 yards by Jones in that drive. As Phil said, had the 12 carries, went 64 yards, and they able to cap that drive off. And that's a good sign for this Eagle team. So I mean, they've been able to keep this high-powered Gladwin offense under wraps and able to overcome a couple of turnovers. I mean, usually, especially when you get to this point of the playoffs, if you're giving the football away twice, usually finding yourself down by at least a touchdown, while the Eagles find themselves up by 2 points here at the halftime.
And they do. I don't know. It's like 20 years old. Something that, after the first two possessions, obviously Gladwin had thrown an interception on their first possession. They got the fumble on their second, was able to score, but third possession for Gladwin, they're able to move down into Oakridge territory, but kind of losing a fumble on fourth and 8, and was able to turn that ball back over to the Oakridge Eagles. So, once both teams seem to kind of settle down a little bit, the offense has started to be able to move the ball, which we expected to see in this game. But I think we kind of expected to see a little bit more scoring and not an 8-6 score here. It's a pretty low score, which means that the defenses are doing pretty good for both these teams out here. The defenses are really being stout, not letting a lot of big plays go on.
Welcome to halftime.
We've had
The Oakridge
some penalties,
band
especially on the
will
Oakridge
perform
side.
our final performance, honoring those of the community.
So they've something that they have to go back into the locker room. And Oakridge has to be happy with this lead, 8-6 lead in their home field. You've seen what Gladwin has brought in the first half. You know what they can do. So second half is going to be a challenge for both these teams to try to figure out how they're going to be able to get more scoring out of them.
Yeah, and too, you think about this also, Phil. I mean, they could have very well shut out Gladwin in this first half too. They had that fumble down on it was about when they were inside the 5-yard line. They had Gladwin, and they got the fortunate bounce where it fell right into the hands of Hale, and he was able to walk into the end zone. And, a bounce here, bounce there, that very well could have turned into a turnover, and Gladwin could have come away with no points. So it's got a fortunate bounce for the Flying G's there, as they're able to get their only touchdown.
And you're exactly right. That was a gift for Gladwin. So they had a nice 12-play drive in that, but there was actually a penalty in between on Oakridge for their defensive back holding on a long pass that was going to be incomplete. So that kind of kept that 12-play drive alive. Then with that fumble, that could have went the other way. Yes, they could be up 8-0 so far with the Oakridge Eagles. So, I'm thinking home field, Oakridge has a little bit of the advantage here. If they can clean up some of their penalties that they've had in that first half, especially defensively, and keep on stuffing that line of scrimmage, cover those receivers, and obviously offensively for Oakridge, you got to keep Trevor Jones running it up the middle and between tackles and outside. He's going to get you some yardage and he's going to get you some scoring. So this is a very good game looking for the Oakridge Eagles.
Yeah, exactly, and this defense too. I mean, I've been impressed with the Oakridge defense so far. Phil,
yes.
We talked about that, before the game. Looking at some of those game-by-game stats, the individual numbers. I mean, as we said, this Gladwin team, they're a big play, big chunk team, and I think one of the ones that I told you was eight carries for 221 yards. Well, I mean, so far